I'm delighted to open the first session of today's gathering. This session offers several key pillars for engaging with the novel Sands and Stars. These pillars connect us not only to the remarkable figure of Siddy Wronsky and her pioneering contributions to the field of social work in both Germany and Free State Palestine, but also to the novel itself, originally written in German and translated during Wronsky's own lifetime into Hebrew and English, as well as to the exciting digitization project, which extends the reading experience far beyond the confines of the written text. So I will invite our first speaker, Dr. Yehudit Avnir. Dr. Yehudit Avnir is a social worker. Her professional practice has been mainly in the domain of municipal social agencies. She gained her PhD from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and is currently an emerita of the Paul Baerwald School of Social Work and Social Welfare, where she taught courses on macro issues, history of social work, and methods practiced for bachelor and master's degrees. Dr. Avnir was the head of the field practice unit at the school and head of the bachelor's program. Dr. Avnir continues to pursue her interest in macro paradigmatic issues and in historical aspects of social work. The title of her lecture is Analysis of the Novel Sand and Stars, exploring the intersections of social work, gender, and Zionism. Please, Dr. Avnir.
Thank you very much for all the organizations that participate in this important event. Thank you very much for all our guests from Germany. Burkhard is the head of the DZI. Stephanie, where are you? She's our colleague. And Diana, that came all the way from Germany here. Thank you, Sinai, for the digitization. It cannot be pronounced, so you understand. Thank you, our Dean of School, Asher Ben-Ariel, for all you said. In the evening, I will elaborate more on the process of the change in the conception of the German social work from back then to now. And thank you for all of my colleagues and my family, my brother, who is very important to this effort, and my David, and Yuval, and Tamar, and everybody. So I'm and from Bavaria, Israel connections. So this is, everybody. So this is a very moving event. Who would believe that Siddy Wronsky, who lived in this neighborhood, and we will walk to her house, she couldn't have believed that such an event will take place, that the novel will be discovered, it will be analyzed, it will be published, and there will be an event of launch of this novel. Nothing of it could have not been done without Ayana Alperin, who discovered the novel. So now to the content itself. So let's begin by describing the content of the novel. What is it all about? So two couples, David and Rachel, Reuven and Ruth, intend to immigrate to Eretz Israel with a group of children from Beit Ahava in Berlin. This is also a children's house, but in Berlin. They get married by a rabbi at the gate of the Jewish cemetery in Berlin, and the next day they begin their journey. They are described as young, robust figures imbued with strong desire to build a country. The story follows their activity and life events in Palestine. David and Reuben lead the settlement of Hanita. Ruth works with children. Rachel, the main characters, feels the suffering of the Jews of the old settlement and especially sympathizes with the suffering of the Jews of the diaspora in Eastern Europe, whose ground is beginning to fall under their feet. Despite her deep understanding and commitment to building the land, Rachel returns to exile. She is already pregnant. The journey is unbearable, but she is traveling in Eastern Europe with her Jewish brothers. In a dilapidated ships, they make the journey to Palestine. Rachel collapses from exhaustion after being taken to the beach with the immigrants. She dies after giving birth. Reuben, at the same time, is killed by Arabs in Hanita. David and Ruth raise the two children, Ifrach and Gidon. Ifrach is very symbolic. It means he will flourish. So this is a very symbolic name that was given to the child of Rachel in the novel. So now let's try to analyze a little bit the novel. First of all, let's talk about Siddy Wronsky herself. So Siddy Wronsky was considered the ultimate Yeke social worker, the ultimate. Wronsky was part of the Yeke milieu. On the one hand, she was appreciated for her professional knowledge. But on the other hand, she was looked upon with criticism, even within the Yeke community. She was looked upon as very extreme. She was regarded as a woman who embodied in extreme fashion the stereotype of the German Jew. Sadly, I have to say, rigid, patronizing, and strict. So, but we discovered that she was also a novelist. This was a surprise from such a person that this was her image. So, writing literary text was not an uncommon milieu in the in women in Germany. Literary treatment of women's concerns was widely used means of setting and disseminating the themes of women movement. An interesting example is Bertolt Penheim's play, which is called Tragic Moment, and we will analyze it a little bit in the evening. So, but she wrote a novel, which was very, very not in tune in what was expected of her. So why is the novel called Sand and Stars? Why a novel about young people coming to Israel, like Chalutzim, is called Sand and Stars? This is quite strange. What is the connection here? So my brother over there, he knows. So I'm leaving it now a little bit for you to expect what will come, and we will address it. So let's talk about the context analysis of the novel. The novel is built on the journey of the protagonist from the diaspora to the homeland. The plot includes real events, such as the youth holiday in Ben Shemen. Who described Ben Shemen here? Yes. So there is a celebration, a youth event in Ben Shemen. The plot includes events such as this holiday, establishment of Hanita, which was a very important kibbutz in the time of the Chomai Migdal. How do you say Chomai Migdal? Block and? Yes, exactly. In addition to Ben Shemen, the book mentions real places such as Meir Shveya Youth Village. The book also refers to real people, such as Henriette Sassold, as well as characters who can be identified as real individuals despite their pseudonyms. This is the case with Dalia, who can be identified as Tzipora Bloch, also an important figure, who was the social worker in the old city in Jerusalem, even in the early 20s of the 1920s. The style of the book is in the service of the content. The dialogues in the novel are primarily declarations, ideological assertions, and statements concerning the ideal future. For the protagonist, it seems, there is a little difference between the personal, interpersonal, and ideological aspects of life. Please, please. I will drink some water. Their ideological beliefs were so strong, they were part of their inner life. And it influenced also their personal life, their interpersonality of life. The landscape description of Israel, Eretz Israel, we can see there is a difference between the description of Eretz Israel and the city of the north. All description of the city of the north, which is Berlin, the descriptions are about the color gray. It is gray all the time. The description of Eretz Israel are full of light. Eretz Israel is filled with light and bright colors. The description of nature tends to pastoral, whether it is wild or cultivated, whether it's Arab or Jewish, but nature importance goes behind beauty. Connecting to nature is essential to redeeming the land, especially when educating children. I must add that the description of natures are some of the finest written part in the book. They are written fluently, with a very rich language. They are not declarative as the dialogues. The characters' descriptions. The book characters present archetypes more than they do round characters with a range of emotion and dilemmas. The two women, Rachel and Ruth, are described as full vitality, although there are several differences between them. The two men, David and Reuben, represent the new Jew, the pioneer. They are physically strong, tall and upright, and confident in their past and faith. Conversely, the Jews of the old city of Jerusalem described as wretched, ill, abandoned, and neglected. The same holds for the diasporic Jews, even in the great city of the north. Let's go now to some central themes. I want to stress the two central themes that I will describe now as the main issues that the book tries to deal through the novel. Rachel exemplifies heroism and sacrifice that Wronsky attaches to helping the needy. For the author, this mission is as important to the success of Zionism as all other pioneering movements. It's not less important than building the land, than going to a kibbutz, than going to build a factory. She tries to stress the idea that social work or social services or helping the poor are pioneering comments. How does she do it? By comparing the sacrifice of Rachel to the sacrifice of Reuben, by showing the great effort and challenge of Rachel, the main protagonist, to go back to exile and help the people there, and by showing what important job does Dalia in the old city. Dalia inspire Rachel to go to Old City, like all the, and help, as I described before. Another, I think this is, I would say this is the main issue that she tries to stress in this novel. And also, we shall see later that Zionism is the answer for the suffering of the Jews in diaspora. I will say, just in brackets, this is the opposite direction from Berta Pappenheim. And we'll discuss it a little bit in the evening. Let's talk a little bit about some aspect of the content. First of all, let's speak about the Arab population. Wronsky's depiction of the land as a wilderness reflects the uncritical adoption of the Zionist idea of land without people for people without land. Her portrayal of the Arab population shifts throughout the book from initial erasure to inclusion as part of the local social fabric, and finally, she described them as enemies. Still, even in the final chapters, she leaves room for the possibility of future existence. She has this, still she keeps in her heart some of this belief. Immigration to Israel, to Palestine, is a response to anti-Semitism. For Wronsky, Zionist immigration sought both to redeem the land and to relieve diaspora suffering. The ceremony wedding in the orphan David and Rachel symbolized the Jewish struggle with the looming catastrophe. I have to say a word about it. There is a custom among the Jews that when a plague is coming to a city, two orphan and a male orphan and a female orphan are married in the gate of a graveyard. So the fact that they were married in the graveyard is very symbolic of Wronsky's belief that the plague is going to be to come and overwhelm the city. Even for example, when the Corona time was in Israel, I saw that in Bnei Brak they did exactly the same ceremony. So this is something that you can see that Wronsky was familiar with this idea. We went to see this graveyard, and in the place where the couple were married, there is a memorial for the Jewish people that were deported to Auschwitz. So now let's talk about Sand and Stars. So why Sand and Stars? Sand and Stars. Do you want to say a word? No. Okay. Okay. So the motto of the book, and in the beginning of the book, there is a song, Sand and Stars. This song is a protest to God. How come you promised us to be multiplied like the sand and the stars in the sea? And as of now, we are only like sand to be trapped upon by people all over. Where is your promise, oh God, for us to be like the stars in heaven? I will not read all the songs. Maybe we'll hear it, not by you, but by the, okay? Okay, we'll see if we have some time. So when we read it, please move on. We can, okay. So this is the motto of the book. Our research and my brother was the instrumental person who helped us about it. This indicates that this is a Yiddish poem, Send a Star, by Simon Frug, a Zionist poet active in Odessa at the turn of the century. The poem, Send a Stars, makes Wronsky's choice of the book title as well as the names of several of the chapters more understandable. We thank Professor Eliyahu Schleifer for his help in identifying the song. Okay, so we can see that for her, the stars are imbued in the Zionism and moving to Eretz Israel. Summary of the analysis. Strong belief in the ethos of mainstream Zionism of that period. No future for the Jews in the diaspora and especially in Germany. Helping the needy is as important as an heroic mission as building the land. Thus, social work is not philanthropy, but an important tool of achieving the aims of the Zionist movement. This is important because social work and the leadership of the Yeshuv and conflict around this idea, they looked upon the social work as philanthropy, not as a professional endeavor, and an important endeavor to the mission of the Yeshuv itself. So she tried to stress it because it was important also for budgeting, which were very, very poor. The novel also expresses Wronsky's inner dilemmas and emotion. The admiration of pioneers who choose to build kibbutzim and other settlements versus Wronsky's choice to continue a career as a social worker. Wide range of emotion regarding beauty, sensuality, and nature. We can see her inner life much richer than the one that was a tribute to her, and all of us that were studying social work about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, were familiar with that image. So we can see that she was much a richer internal life. She had the ability for compassion, cherishing women's personal independence, as well as yearning for love and motherhood. There is a place for future research. I will not go into now. We'll talk in the evening about a possibility for research regarding comparison between Berta Pappenheim and her. And I would like to finish with some reflection about the possible reaction of the nowadays readers. What could have been the public reaction if the novel would have been published around the time it was written? We don't know, but the style of the novel was old-fashioned even in the time it was written. The translation to Hebrew is very well done by a famous translator named Akai. It's very biblical in language. And also the fact the dialogues are all declarations and are not really vivid dialogues would have been old-fashioned then. What about the nowadays readers who have different perspective due to time, historical events, current events, and political attitudes? We have great respect to Wronsky, who had the drive and passion to write the novel. We try to analyze it so it reflects the period in which it was written. This is very important because from nowadays perspective, we can see things, ideas, people, persons, political ideas differently. But we tried to keep the analysis relevant to what she herself tried to, as best that we can understand it, would have liked to say about it. So maybe it is luck, maybe we are lucky that it was hidden, not by purpose, but by forgetfulness in the archives, and maybe God in heaven or her in heaven guided Ayana to find it, so it will be presented to the public nowadays. So thank you very much, everyone. If there will be questions later, I will answer. יש לנו רגע לשיר? Okay. So just for to hear the song, my brother will sing it personally in the event in the evening. So we are looking forward very much for this because, you know, our colleagues in Germany heard it via via recording, so now they will have also the pleasure of hearing it from you. So can you put it? תעמוד רגע.